Today we're working on a diorama base to turn this into this. What's up everybody? So I'm actually glad I'm not the only one that felt like this when this figure arrived. Now this is the Ahsoka Hot Toys DX figure. And being a DX figure, it lacked anything making it a DX quality figure. Okay, it had moving eyes. Everything else about it was just disappointing. The figure itself is absolutely beautiful, but it really needed to go up a level. So that's what I wanted to do here. I wanted to kind of incorporate a couple of pieces I had here. So everything here I had from other figures or laying around or the backyard. So this little piece came with Wicket, the Ewok from Hot Toys. It's a corner piece for the display, so I'm actually going to utilize it in this. Then I found this at Five Below. It's one of these frames that you put little letters and stuff like that. I didn't care about the letters, I just needed the frame. The frame was simple, it fit the exact size that I needed, and we're just gonna go with this. And then I stopped over at Michael's, or you can go to the hobby store and I'm sure you can find the same thing. I just grabbed sheet moss, and this will be the base of the diorama. And along with the Ewok piece, we are going to use Ahsoka's base as well and kind of blend it all in. Now I have some double-sided tape, and I'm just gonna tape these diorama pieces to the frame itself. I don't want to glue those down in case I have to adjust them as I'm going. Now, in typical fashion of me, I didn't exactly think this whole process out at all. I just knew I wanted to make something better than this stand alone, because this stand I feel is absolutely awful. Now this is going into the display case behind me, so I do have to watch the dimensions and how much stuff is going to poke out past this frame. All right, let me start taping these diorama pieces down to the frame. All right, let's drag the moss onto the frame and see what we can get going here. I do want to try to keep the frame edges clean and not have the moss kind of falling off the side or anything. And I do want to blend the bases into this diorama. So the moss will go over the edges, and I'm going to put some dirt and little leaves and everything onto the diorama pieces to kind of blend it into the whole set. So I have mostly everything kind of set into the frame itself. I haven't glued anything down yet, but you can see I'm going to cut off the edges because I do want to try to keep the edges reasonably clean and sharp. And don't forget to clean up your work area as you're going, or everything is just going to be a disaster. All right, let's do a little fit test and see if it fits in the display correctly. All right. I think I'm going to have to move the little diorama piece in the back there a little bit more forward so I can push this back a little bit more. All right, we're just going to reset this, and this should actually work perfectly. Tuck some of the moss back under there, blend that all back together. Now we're going to use Mod Podge to kind of stick this all together, and we're going to dilute this down with some water, about a 50-50 mix. And yes, before I start spraying glue everywhere, I am going to cover my table. Alright, I'm going to start spraying Mod Podge everywhere and start kind of just connecting this first layer. There will be a few extra things I put on top of this, and on the bases I'm also going to add some dirt and some leaves on there, so we're going to spray those a little. Now, it truly is amazing. We have these diorama pieces that they gave us, but they're just lacking so much. But when you put a little bit of tender love and care, into these things, and you add some of this moss, and we're going to put a little bit of dirt on the branch part over there, it really does bring it to life. All right, let's do the same thing to the piece that came with our little friend Wicket, the Ewok. I'm glad I got this stuff. Now, you can actually probably get some of these things if you want to add more. You will be surprised the things that you could find in hobby stores and pet stores for like aquariums. They make some really cool stuff for aquariums that you can add into diorama pieces. You got branches and rocks and so much stuff that you can add into dioramas just from what you could find in the fish section at a pet store. And then also, don't be surprised what you can find in your own backyard. So I grabbed these sticks and some of these little chunks of wood from the mulch, and we're gonna incorporate all of this in here as well. Now, it's always really interesting when you don't have a plan and you're just kind of grabbing things and incorporating. I'm sure this is exactly how lightsabers originated, and even things like Michael Myers' mask. People just kind of went out, grabbed things, and see if they can make it work. A lightsaber was basically the tube of a flash for a camera. Someone said, oh, look, we can make a weapon out of this. Another perfect example of that is Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber. That is pieced together from grenades and sinks. Like, it's crazy. Prop people and designers, they have such amazing imaginations where they can just grab stuff and put it together and make something from absolutely nothing. And that's pretty much the method I'm taking on this. I wanted to improve on something I didn't like from Hot Toys, and just kind of grab things I had laying around the house or something that I can pull from another figure, junk from my backyard, and just figure out a way of making something from kind of what was nothing. All right, we're gonna spray that stuff down a little bit, and don't forget that we have to put some of this stuff on top of the branches and stuff that we just put down, because it needs to look like it's been sitting there and leaves and twigs and stuff had fallen on it over time. I mean, who knows how long these sticks and stuff have been there? They could be there for a week, they could have been there for years. All right, so I think we're in a really good place with this diorama. I think it's kind of done. I've got some of the debris laying over the branches now, and we're just gonna kind of let it sit out and dry overnight. Now, this is where I planned on stopping. I wasn't gonna do anything more. I thought it was great. It looks fine on the display. Then I was like, I don't know, this lantern needs to light up. I gotta see if I can find an LED somewhere in the house from another figure part or something, yank it out and get it into this lantern. Now, I have this LED diode from another figure part that I just pulled out. It was mostly all broken, and you could see that the lantern itself is translucent, so if we can get this in there, it will light up. And I have this powered by USB. Now you can see I kept this really scientific and just measured up the diode with the drill bit, and we're gonna drill a hole right into the bottom of the lantern. All right, hopefully this will fit in. Perfect, great. Let's plug it on in. And bam! Look at that. Look how much life this has now with just one single LED diode, and it took like 2 minutes to put together. All right, now because I didn't plan on doing this, I have to thread this through the bottom piece here. This stuff is pretty stuck together with all that Mod Podge that I sprayed down, and I want to be careful because I don't want to pull too much of this apart. But it will come down the side and then run up the side of my display into the USBs that I have on top of the display. All right, let's give it a little quick testy poo. There we go. Oh my God, look at that. This one thing alone just took up this diorama base 10 notches. All right, we have it all set up in the display, and take a look at that. Oh my God, why didn't Hot Toys do this? Not for nothing, if I can do this, and I know very little about this stuff, Hot Toys can do it, and do it even better. All right, that is it with this video. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sorry it's not too technical, but I don't know a lot about model making like this, diorama pieces, and electronics. Now, I wanted to share this because it was really fun, and always keep in mind, if you can inspire someone to do something maybe a little out of their comfort zone, or to take the inspiration that you just provided and they do it even better, I would say mission accomplished. Let me know down in the comments of how you think this turned out. And while you're down there, hit that like button, subscribe, and the notification button for upcoming videos. And I will see you all on the next video. Be safe and kind out there in the world. See ya.